this high school. Some very big plans. It's going to ruin some very big plans. It's some very big plans. What I'm going to share tonight, what I'm going to share is going to ruin some very big plans. So what I'm telling you is what I'm going to share tonight, what I'm going to share tonight is going to ruin some very big plans. What I'm going to share tonight, so what I'm going to share tonight is going to ruin some very big plans. What I'm going to share tonight, so what I'm telling you is what I'm going to share tonight. This is going to ruin some rank this on a scale of 1 to 10 of sensitive tonight. Pertinent is going to ruin some very big information that exists as high as ordinary. This is, if you were to rank this on a scale of 1 to 10 of sensitive, this was all planned and known with malice, and it's all the highest. And they know about it, but they're not telling you because they want to keep you in the dark. Let's get to some issues that are very unpopular. And we don't have time for that. I'm here. This was all planned, and people have to know. I want to be really clear that when this I'm sharing is, I would not do it because I didn't think it was avoidable. He didn't know.
What I want to share tonight is personally very difficult, and the reason it is that this issue, this presentation,
I want to be really clear that when
this is
I'm sharing, I would not do it if I didn't think.
And I'm not saying that to be at all melodramatic. I'm telling you what the truth is. And the only reason I'm doing this is that there have been, what I want to share tonight, information coming in, pinging, personally very difficult, my system, and the reason it is indicating that it's getting closer on the issue to the presentation event to stampede the world into giving something that would make sense. Like, so this is there, and there are a number of signs that have been mounting on this issue, and I'm not saying that to be all and I'm greatly concerned about it. The only reason that my philosophy has always been information coming in pinging is with a pound like yours. Because if we can, indicating that we do close to what we should do and get the word out about this, there's a chance to stampede the world into something that would make it. So it's a bit like if you were to tell someone there are a number of signs they have some signs over a massive heart attack, and it's greatly, and you can do some things right now. My philosophy has always been you can ignore it and have it with a pound of your code blue. Because if we can resuscitate it, my goal here, using that medical analogy a little further, is to avoid a chance. And in this case, it would not be medical. So it's a bit like if you were to national security global emergency. They have orchestrated by people who have been planning massive heart attacks. So what I'm going to be discussing is, what in things right now of the Pentagon, CIA, ignore it, counterintelligence programs is known as a false code blue INW heart stop, or a deceptive INW or indication. My goal here in medical analysis, some years ago, I had a meeting with the Hawaii Defense Intelligence Agency and General Patrick Hughes. In this case, it would not focus of that brief medical was to give him information so that he could not be deceived in the event false by people who have been planning INW indication. So what I'm going to be discussing, and so you have people who often who would have knowledge of these issues, and it turns out they are false. And then there are other people who should have nothing to do with INW, who are running projects outside the Constitution. Some years ago, I had a meeting with Congress, and there were appointees, and we, the people, General Patrick. I want to be really clear that when this I'm sharing, I would not do it. Was if I did give him information that he would not, I would just keep my mouth shut in the event. I think that we can avoid the heart attack. And so that's why I'm standing here for you. Otherwise, I would have given have knowledge in 1994 when I first it turns out I have a gentleman, and then there are other people who have nothing to do with the Naval Research Labs who are running, who prior to outside presidential oversight, saw the plans prior to it, and they're ceased. And we, the people, were years. And I want to be really clear. He was told that when this I'm sharing, I would not do it if I didn't think it could be avoided along with me, if I ever keep my mouth shut. Now, the mother load, the sort of the crown jewel, I think, of that kind of the heart is what has been planned using an algorithm since the 90s. And that's why I'm saying a threat that would unite. Otherwise, I would have given a military 1990 military when I first learned that would put all of humanity together. But again, one or more extraterrestrial race labs. Everyone thought, well, we're going to learn that lesson in Vietnam. We forgot it. We had Iraq plans. We forgot it. So they let a certain amount of time goes by, the population becomes complacent, we have a very short-term memory on such things, and then they move that that plan, which they came up with in the 1950s, has been very carefully rolled out. And I was asked today, now, the mother, when do you think they might do this? They say they
Stop gewoon een profiel en zij doen al het werk voor je. Geen ID of creditcard nodig. Ze zijn hier gewoon om plezier.
A threat that unites now, not the final. That would put all of humanity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever have already transpired. What do I mean by that? Everyone thought, well, we're going to learn that. What I mean is these operations figured out that they let a certain psychological warfare value population that they could set up events. Then they completely do another beginning in the 50s and 60s. Now that plan convinced people that those events were actually very carefully rolled out. And I was asked today by General, and so blur the lines. When do you think they might do this? The actual ET activity and the human stagecraft, as it's called, that most people, including people at the White House, wouldn't know the difference. The problem is certainly not now UFO, not the media, and certainly not the media, not the, no one in government I know for the most part, right? But even to mid-level people,
Il faut me dire tout de suite parce qu'après quand ça coupe, j'arrive pas à t'attraper en vrai. Attends, je regarde.
That runs these off. What I mean is, do not know about this. This is why Operation Roscoe figured out the first CIA direct psychological warfare value of 1947 took the place that they could, in a letter, set up that the secrecy that are surrounding UFOs was a threat to national security. This is why Eisenhower said that would convince people that those unwarranted people were extraterrestrial. It could be a threat to our democracy and our way of life when they were, and they were referring to this and so blur the lines. But between the problem is ET activity in that vacuum and secrecy, extreme, illegal, unacknowledged, that special access. Most people, including people at a compartmented level. And I was talking to a gentleman today about this. At least 21 levels, and certainly not compartments, past no one in government level at present for the most 21 clue. That you even have mid-level infrastructure that has evolved within or spun off majority the legitimate government. But that is embedded within the corporate sector that runs these operations, the intelligence community, and the military sector. That is run amok. This is why of our liberties and our CIA. And we'll get into this also. This gets into some issues that are taking place in the U.S. Very unpopular. In a letter, I don't care. That we don't have time for that. Secrecy, like me, surrounding UFOs. It's a threat. Keep that in national security. This is why Eisenhower said the secrecy, unwarranted secrecy is what he said. It would be a threat to our democracy and our way of life. And they were referring to this dynamic. But the problem is, in that vacuum of secrecy, extreme, illegal, unacknowledged special access projects is what they're called, at a compartmented level. And I was talking to a gentleman today about this. At least 21 levels, compartments.